everybody wants to have the stage presence, right? Or be like, oh, I can get on, I can do
that.
what he does even better than him.
Yeah.
But I'm telling y'all, when y'all sit in front of cameras and y'all sit in front of lights and you know the world's about to watch this, that shit changes up the man. Hey, good luck.
Good luck.
It's not for everybody.
Listen, I just did an arena with, it was me, DC on Fly, Chico Bean, Jess Hilarious in Columbus, Georgia. And like you said, people think they can do it until you step out on that stage and you standing in the middle of 5, 6, 7,000 people. You know, it's you. It's just you, and it's all eyes on you.
Was that your first experience doing something like that?
No, that was. Do you know what? That I want to say that might have been the biggest space that I've been in. But I've done like 4,000 seat theaters, 2,000 seaters. I got 1,000 seater that's coming up. I'm about to do. We got a 2,500 seater I'm about to do in Minnesota. So and I'm really built for those type of stages, for those large audiences. Like I'm built for that. Like I write material. When I write jokes, oh, this gonna kill in a theater or this gonna kill in an arena. And then I got stuff that I know, oh, this gonna kill in a comedy club. But, you know, I work so hard at just, you know, at both ends of the craft to stand up. And then I always try to keep the content as far as the skits and stuff. I try to keep it fresh and as relatable as possible, because if people can relate to it, they're gonna like it.
Mr. Brooks, please tell us when you first thought about, you know, even doing some stand-up. Did somebody find you funny in the point? Did you feel like you believed in yourself? Like, I feel like I can make funnier jokes than a lot of these dudes.
It was so, man, I'm going to be honest with you. It wasn't nothing that I wanted to do. I always wanted to be famous. I just didn't know how. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't know how. I was like, I want to be famous, but I just didn't know how. I didn't know what my lane would be. And I guess the signs were always there. You know, when I was in 5th grade was the first time I seen the Kings of Comedy. And we went home from spring. We went back to school from spring break, and I was able to recite Bernie Mac's whole stand-up set to my classmates when we got back. I'm at the school doing his jokes, you know. And
shout out to the great,
Bernie Mac from the crib too. Chi-Town represent.
Talk about it.
But he, you know, so even then in 5th grade, like it was something that I liked. I always liked watching it, but I never like, you know, being a comedian just became popular. You know, it wasn't always a thing that a lot of people wanted to do. It just now became a thing where everybody's trying to do it, or, you know, everybody, you know, putting their hand in it. So my sister-in-law, she used to be like, man, I used to, you know, tell them stories. I go to the barbershop, my barber, I would just tell them stories about stuff that I was going through.
The greatest conversations going
on at the barbershop, man.
No, why you always think I keep my hair cut, man?
I once a week. There. I go once a week, man. It's therapy, man. And I just remember sitting there, and my barber was like, bro, you a comedian, man. Like, you need to take this stuff. You need to do it on stage. And I'm like, I ain't doing that. But I've never been like afraid of speaking in front of people. I've never been afraid of, you know, standing up and being, I've never been afraid of it. So, you know, one day I was like, man, you know, I was on Vine and I was watching these guys on Vine and I was like, man, I could do this shit, man. I could do this. And I started doing it. And, you know, it probably, you know, when I first started off, you know, I was growing, you know, I was doing the typical stuff, you know. When we first came out, everybody was trying to, you know, what moms be like, what dads be like. That's kind of what I started off doing. And before I went into the Mr. James. So it's kind of like, you know, I kind of held on to the real until I was able to find what my identity was and who I was going to be, you know, as far as, you know, within the guidelines of comedy. And once I figured that out, then you got Mr. James. Then you got me at the Ring doorbell camera. Now I got the child support court skits going. I mean, I got so much stuff going right now.
But it's relatable.
Man, listen.
That's what, listen.
I got some new shit about the juice.
I got some new shit. Relatable. I gotta, I agree with you. I agree with you to a large magnitude of when you say, like, you was watching people on Vine.
Yeah.
You know, and not even to get into myself, but to keep it about you, just to resonate with you. I think about, I'm like, damn, I was in Fresno watching Joe Rogan, a lot of JRE, and I would catch myself pausing it every time talking about it. And I'm like, damn, I could do this.
Yeah.
And then a year later, I found myself through here, homie.
It's just like, you know,
happens.
and it's not like, and it's not a diss to the
real.
people that was doing it.
No,
it was just
not at
like,
all.
you know
Not
what,
at all.
actually it's like, thank you, because
Thank you.
You showed me that it was possible. You showed me that it was a lane there, and I know what my capabilities are. So I'm watching like, oh no, I could do this, and I know what's in my head. You know, I'm not gonna say it's better than what you're doing, but I know what I got. People gonna like.
So you believed in yourself before anybody. Like you knew, you said, hey man, I can do this.
I can do this,
I'm gonna step up to the plate.
and I'm gonna do it. Yeah,
Because like you said, like being a comic, like there's not because I love Def Jam. And I loved watching these things, man. You know, even when BET, man, they would push these things. Comic View.
yeah.
Comic View was popular.
Man, look.
But I think it was for the up and coming. That's what I loved about it. Like it had such a
Because you never knew none of the people. You never knew none of them.
you had to see what the fuck it was.
Yeah.
You know, so to see now, it's like the only way you can get into being a comedian is if you already had some push.
Yeah.
I don't think that's cool because there's a lot of starving comedians out here that would love to be in these doors, but when they go and talk to certain people, they're like, okay, well, let us get your analytics.
Yeah, how many followers you got?
How many followers you got?
I know so many dope comics, man, that go through that,
bro.
And it's hard. You know, here's the thing: it's hard for me, you know, because you know, as all I can do is get on the game.
Yeah.
This is what you need to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you wanna do this, you wanna make this amount of money, you wanna get into these doors. Look, this is what you need to do. And you know, the internet is not for everybody. Everybody cannot. It's crazy because the argument used to be that the social media, you know, comedians couldn't transition into being stand-up comedians. But nobody ever talked about how the traditional stand-up comedians that we all know and love, how some of them can't transition over and gain and grow a social presence.
All right, so you see it. We just hit 500K. You know what that means? That means you gotta subscribe and get us to 600K because we are dangerously close to 666K. Let's go.